You're tuned in to the Brand Ambassador Select Podcast.
Welcome back to the Brand Ambassador Select Podcast, where we are showcasing the coolest brands and gifts while featuring movers and makers. I'm your host, Lenora, and this episode is all about women's health and Femme Pharma. So they have been committed for over 20 years to contributing to women's health, and their founder and CEO, Gerianne DiPiano, joins us to really show how their feminine products, which she sent a couple of us to us, help women confidently tackle their everyday lives. And I'm super excited to hear all about the Intimate Skin Moisturizer, because sometimes I don't moisturize everywhere. So Jerry, welcome to the Brand Ambassador Select Podcast.
I'm glad to be here.
Thank you for sending us a bunch of different samples of your Femme Pharma products. I have the Intimate Skin Moisturizer here. I have the Satis Femme here, which is a little bud. And then I have the personal lubricant and moisturizer applicator here. Tell us all about these products and why women should really be incorporating them into their everyday lives.
So when we think about moisturization, we think about taking care of our skin. And we start at the head. I would say head, shoulders, knees, and toes, right? That was the expression when we were little kids. And it's still an expression that makes sense. So we want to make sure that all of our body is moisturized. The problem is that we stop at our waistline. And when you're a woman, you have very delicate tissues that are in your vulvar and vaginal region, and they deserve the same type of care. Why is that true? Because for various reasons, those intimate skin issues can really have an impact on your quality of life. So they can impact you when you play sports, they can impact you when you're trying to have an intimate relationship, but those parts of your body need attention, and you should be moisturizing those parts of your body every single day. The problem is that products that have typically been promoted for this type of use are pretty gross, right? So they tend to leak, they're drippy, they're messy. So the only time women tend to use some of these products is when they notice that things are dry, itching, burning, and when they experience pain. Or sometimes right before intercourse, because intercourse becomes painful for them. So then they try something just occasionally. Unfortunately, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's optimal. So the optimal way to address this problem of vaginal and vulvar pain, itching, burning, and to also keep things from getting worse is really to use these types of products every single day. Just as you would your facial moisturizer or your body moisturizer, you want to keep things nice and hydrated. It's why we used hyaluronic acid and vitamin E in these products.
That I have right here in the Intimate Skin Moisturizer one. It definitely says it on the back.
Yes. So we use hyaluronic because it's a naturally occurring product. These ingredients are generally regarded as safe. They don't require a prescription, and they can be ordered in a way that doesn't put you down the aisle of shame in a sea of pink. So women and men can appreciate that walking into the pharmacy, here's the scenario. You walk down the aisle of shame in a sea of pink, and you're looking from side to side because you want to make sure nobody knows what you're buying in that particular place. And then it's confusing. What do you buy? What products make sense? You're not going to stand there and read the label for 20 minutes. And God forbid that you walk down to the end of the aisle to the pharmacist who happens to be your 17-year-old neighbor, now saying, hey, Mrs. DiPiano, you're going to have a hot night with your husband tonight. Or worse, he tells all of his friends, you just bought moisturizers and lubricants.
Oh, what you're describing sounds like a sitcom show.
I'm not giving you advice, by the way. He's not giving you advice. You're not getting consulting advice from your 17-year-old neighbor boy. These products can be ordered discreetly on our website. And then more importantly, if it happens that this product arrives at your doorstep and your kid opens the box, they're going to think you got Chanel. That's the reason we package the products in an elegant way. So we think about the elegance in the formulation, the elegance in the packaging, and in a no leak or drip or messy formulation. So these are really, really viscous products. They're very thick, so they adhere well. You don't need a lot, so we put a very small amount in the area where it is of importance. So in the personal lubricant and vaginal moisturizer, the Satisfet product, we have a very tiny amount of material. You have just enough. So in the personal lubricant and vaginal moisturizer, think about the size of a pea, and that's the amount of material that you will find in that applicator. The applicator is pre-filled, and it's not very intimidating. So in the Satisfet product, any woman that has used a tampon in her life will appreciate this. Looks exactly like a tampon with just a tiny little bit of material.
Yeah, I just opened up the instructions. I was like, oh, I think I've seen these before in health class.
Absolutely. So you do what you would ordinarily do with a tampon. You depress the plunger, a tiny little drop of material goes right where it needs to go. And you don't need to wear a pad or a diaper, which is really the complaint that we have heard for decades from women. So these are the Satisfem and Satisfet and intimate moisturizing products that we have developed internally based upon some technology and know-how that we have cultivated over 2 decades.
So you're the intimate skin moisturizer. I have a stupid question, right? So does this just go over like the top area, or am I supposed to get all in with the moisturizer, if you know what I mean?
Yes, I do know what you mean. So this is something that you can apply, the intimate skin moisturizer, you can apply on your finger if you don't have a problem touching your body. And you just apply it at the top inside the mucosa, right, of your vulva. So start at the top where the clitoris is. I'm using words that people may or may not feel comfortable, but that's what we have in women's bodies. You start at the top and you move down to the external opening for the vagina, right? So that's where you apply the material for the intimate moisturizer, intimate skin moisturizer. Now, if you happen to be a woman who either isn't comfortable touching her body, and or if you're a woman who's on the go like me, where you don't want to carry tubes of material in your purse or in your backpack or what have you, then the Satisfem Bud is pre-filled. It's the same product in a pre-filled little applicator that has a swab. It looks like a Q-tip. So you snap it open, you pull out the swab, and you swab your intimate parts. So same place, start at the top, all the tissues, and toss it away. So it's a single-use product. It's highly convenient. It actually fits in skinny jeans, which is one of the reasons why I developed it, because I like wearing skinny jeans, and I know lots of my friends do as well, and they don't want to be carrying something that looks like this water bottle, right? Maybe
so
slightly
bulky.
No, you don't want something that's too bulky. Also, we did this in a discreet packaging because we want it to look like a lipstick. For that matter, it could look like your lipstick or a lip gloss. So it's, again, inconspicuous, very elegant. We love black and white. We particularly love black. So all of our packaging is black so that it becomes very elegant and discreet looking.
So what inspired you to create this line?
So I am a pharma industry person. So I started my career in the multinational pharmaceutical companies and worked there for many years. And then I left to start what was the first company called Femme Pharma, doing clinical research and development in areas of women's health care. So we were looking at different types of diseases and disorders that affect women disproportionately. Conditions like endometriosis and overactive bladder and breast disease. And while I was in the process, we had a company come and acquire us, and we decided we weren't done yet. So we started the second company and then the third. So this is my third company, Femme Pharma Consumer Healthcare. And it was born out of the interest in looking at more of the prevention as opposed to the treatment. So wellness. and especially wellness where women over the age of 40 were concerned, because we seem to create this interest in women when they're in the reproductive age group cohort. But once a woman passes the age of 40, she's not conceiving anymore. Most likely her fertility has declined. And she's probably not in a position where she's also thinking about getting pregnant, right? But what she is young. She's very young. And she's also facing perimenopause and menopausal symptoms. So she may be experiencing some issues with dryness, with burning, with itching, with frequency and urgency. And actually, the market is enormous for different types of options, non-prescription options for women in menopause. In fact, by 2025, over 1 billion women will be either entering or in menopause. So that's like 12% of the world's population. And when I tell you that 25 million women enter menopause each year, it shouldn't be surprising that we need to do something that provides the least harmful way to address symptom relief, particularly for this problem. This particular problem, the problem that we provide these options for, will affect 1 out of every 2 women. And about 38% of those women have very severe symptoms that actually impacts their quality of life. So it was born out of two reasons. Number one, it's a tremendous market, very, very significant market of women who are largely just disregarded. Now there are more companies than ever that are entering this space. We call it femtech. And in particular, we have many companies that are entering the market with products for women over the age of 40. These are all the Gen Xers. They are better educated, they're cool, they're hip, they still want to address some of these issues, and they're not afraid to raise their hands and say, hey, you know what, enough is enough. I want something better. So that was really the inspiration for Femme Pharma Consumer Healthcare.
So Jerry, I'm not over the age of 40. Can I use these products? Will these work for me as well? Or is it really just for that demographic?
No, these are products that all women should begin using, and they should begin using them earlier on. So look, there are women who have no menopausal symptoms whatsoever. These are very safe for them. And by the way, if you begin moisturizing when you're younger, chances are, as life moves on, you will also be healthier. Your tissues will be healthier because you've done a lot of the preventive work. Now, there also may be times when younger women experience dryness, itching, burning, and that may be related to other types of treatment that you may be undergoing. For example, women who have endometriosis will often experience these types of symptoms because of the treatment for that endometriosis. But women can experience a little bit of dryness after they had a baby. So when they're breastfeeding their babies, they may experience this. They can experience these concerns when they are using antihistamines or antidepressants. So vaginal dryness, burning, itching isn't necessarily something that only affects older women. It affects women at any age for a variety of different reasons, but it's also good prevention.
Well, thanks for thinking about like us and every other woman out there, because obviously it's true to you, true to your heart, because you were making this while you were going through your own things in your everyday life and passing it on to each generation. And I think I love the part that you were like educating the Gen X, educating everybody else underneath it to know that I am like, my new goal for 2021 was to really just, work on my skin. Like I was focusing on my face, okay, Jerry, but now I'm going to have to work my face all the way down,
Yeah, I think you'll probably appreciate using it as well. I mean, it actually is really good. We joke about it here at Femme Pharma. You might imagine we're an all-woman team.
Yeah.
And so we talk about vaginas and vulvas a lot. And it reminds me of the episode of Emily in Paris, right? So if I'm going to put a plug in for Emily in Paris.
I love that show. I think it just got a couple nominations and people were mad. They're like, I can't believe she got it. And Lily Collins was like, oh my God, no way. I had no idea.
I want to be Emily in Paris. So Emily in Paris is an account executive who ends up with a vaginal moisturizer as one of her products. And they sort of objectify the principles of this firm are objectifying women a bit. And they talk about her, women using these types of products with their partner in mind. And obviously, intimacy is really important and partnering is really important. And of course, these will enhance the ability to have more pleasurable intimacy. But it's really about you. It's about women, right? And that's the conclusion at which Emily arrives. She's, well, wait a minute. This is more about the woman, not necessarily about her partner. And it's true. So you want to do this for yourself. It was the best statement she ever made. And I wish I could steal it from her and use it. But I'll plagiarize a little bit and say that, yes, it really is about the woman and not necessarily about intimacy, because perhaps you're celibate right now, or perhaps he's not, as we call it, vulvar and vaginal moisturizer worthy.
I wasn't ready for you to say that.
So thinking about an old Seinfeld episode of being sponge worthy, where, we talk about being worthy of these sorts of things. The woman is definitely worthy. So don't make it about him, make it about you.
So to grab your products and to test out literally any of them, I'm so excited. They have the Intimate Skin Moisturizer and everything else involved. You can head to femmepharma.com. That's FEMMEPHARMA.com. And you can check them out on Facebook and Instagram at Femme Pharma as well. Jerry, thank you for introducing us to your product, your baby. And I will definitely start moisturizing. Let me tell you. It's going to be on my to-do list.
Absolutely should do it every single day, and it will definitely make a difference. And for all of those women who have written us reviews and all of those healthcare practitioners who recommend it, we have had tremendous response. So I hope it makes a difference in your life, in your personal life. And if you have a partner, he should weigh in or she should weigh in as well.
I got some man, so I guess I'll talk to him.
Oh, there you go. Perfect.
Jerry, thank you so much again for joining us and introducing us to Femme Pharma. Once again, you can check them out at FEMMEPharma.com. That is fempharma.com. Now, that is a wrap on another episode of the Brand Ambassador Select Podcast. I'm your host, Lenora. Hit that subscribe button so you never miss one. More at brandambassadorselect.com, and we will see you next time.